The topic of overcoming stress and anxiety has been gaining a lot of attention recently. And what is funny though is how many still buy into myths and misconceptions about stay-at-home moms just lazing around, as though we're all sitting back with our feet up all day. But the truth is, burnout and anxiety are real struggles for so many of us. And in today's episode, we're going to be discussing how so many stay-home moms and homemakers experience burnout and anxiety, and most importantly, how we can overcome it. Now, if you're a stay-home mom or a homemaker or even a woman at all, this episode is for you. Hi there, welcome back to another episode on this platform. If you're new here, hello, nice to meet you. And if you've been with me for a minute, thank you so much for sticking by. I am Aneta, Elisha-Oladejo, for those of you meeting me for the first time, the homemaker according to the tenets of scriptures in Titus chapter 2, 3-5. I'm the homemaker's personal growth coach and the blogger at Elisha-Oladejo.com. So please do well to check it out. Now, there's a unique beauty in homemaking that's often overlooked. The joy of creating a nurturing space for your family, of watching your children grow, and the fulfillment that comes from being the heart of your home. These have unquantifiable reward. It's a role that, although demanding, brings a deep sense of purpose and connection. But the reality is we've come a long way since the 1950s, when our mothers quietly struggled, felt lost, overwhelmed, and ashamed to admit the feelings that they were having. They didn't have the words to describe, what they were going through, and often most of them kept it hidden or just took it as one of the things that came with womanhood. But of course, we have progressed so far, and the reality is many of us are still facing those struggles today. It's not just, of course, it shows up in different ways, but what I love most about today is that we're able to talk about it and have conversations, embracing these struggles as real, but also having conversations on how to overcome them going forward. The most important part of homemaking or the joy of homemaking is that you find peace, you find joy, you find fulfillment and in what you are doing, and not being too burnt out to really enjoy all of the goodness of homemaking. Now, as stay-home moms, we often experience burnout and anxiety because we are on the clock 24/7. There are no real break from the demands of running a household, right? Taking care of the kids, or we're always trying to put everything or keep everything together. It can feel overwhelming, especially when we're expected to handle it without much recognition or time to really care for ourselves. Now, also, unrealistic expectations come from different angles in the society, social media, and sometimes even our own thoughts. We are constantly bombarded with the images of the perfect mom who has it all together, spotless home, happy kids, a garden, and of course endless energy. Now, these impossible standards can make us feel like we're falling short even when we're actually doing our best. On top of that, the isolation of spending most of our time at home can leave us feeling lonely, and that's where burnout and anxiety starts to creep in. It's tough, but you are not alone, and yes, you can conquer it. Now, how do we overcome this feeling of being burnt out and anxiety? Number one, create time to rest and recharge, but not in the way the world often suggests. The idea of self-care puts the focus on us, as though we have the power to restore ourselves, but we know as Christian homemakers that it's God that sustains us. Psalms 55 verse 22 says, cast your burden upon the Lord and he shall sustain thee. He shall never allow the righteous to be moved. I know it's tough when little ones are constantly needing our attention, and it feels like there's no time left for us. But even Jesus in his time on earth showed us the importance of stepping away once in a while. In Luke chapter 5 verse 16, it says, and he withdrew himself into the wilderness and prayed. If Jesus in his busy ministry needed time to pray and recharge, how much more do we? Now, for us, it's recognizing that we cannot do it all in our own strength, and that is okay. In fact, that should be the standard. God God calls us to lean on Him, to trust Him with our exhaustion, with our stress, and with our worries. You can carve out 30 minutes a day in your day for God's care. Take the time to pray, to sit in His presence, or to read His word. It's in those moments that He refreshes your soul. As Matthew 11:28-29 reminds us to come unto Him, all of us who labor and are heavy laden, and He will give us rest. He says, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. I am meek and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your soul. This isn't about, of course, it's not about finding rest in ourselves, but in the one who cares for us, sustains us, and gives us the strength to keep going. Finding rest and recharging in our daily lives would start with the peace we discover in God. When we make scriptures our daily guide, we often open ourselves to a reservoir of strength that can help us avoid burnout and anxiety. Now, the hustle of homemaking can be overwhelming, but when we root ourselves in God's promises, we find clarity and calm. Now, think of His word as a daily boost of energy. Each verse we meditate on reinforces our resilience, allowing us to tackle our tasks with renewed vigor and purpose. Now, by anchoring ourselves in His truth, we create a mindset that not only helps us manage daily challenges, but also nourishes our spirit. Now, number 2 way is to let go of perfection. As moms, the pressure to be perfect can be overwhelming. We often think we need everything to be in its place, our homes sparkling and our kids perfectly behaved. We live in a world where social media often portrays, an idealized version of homemaking, but remember that those perfectly staged photos do not show the messy realities behind the scenes. It's okay if your home isn't spotless every single day. What matters is the love and the effort that you put into your family's daily life. If you're putting your best foot forward and showing love, that is more than enough. Your main goal should be nurturing your family, not creating an Instagram-worthy home. Some days, the most important thing is ensuring everyone is fed, cared for, and happy. Simple acts of love like a warm meal or a listening ear or a tight hug will go a long way in creating a happy home. Now, if you're trying to achieve perfection, it becomes often stressful and less reward. Of course, with almost zero rewards. Embrace the idea that a little mess, it's okay. Everything does not always have to be in order. Now, what is important is ensure that daily you are putting in your effort, you're putting in love, and even in those imperfections, you will find joy and fulfillment in the rhythm of your everyday life. So number 3 is shift your mindset. Burnout often starts from the feeling that your daily tasks are insignificant. The endless chores and responsibilities can make us question if what we do truly matters. Colossians 3:23 provides us a powerful reminder that whatsoever we do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. Every diaper changed, every meal cooked, and every bedtime story read isn't just a mundane task. These actions are acts of service that God sees, values, and rewards very deeply. When you approach your daily duties with the mindset of serving God, you can find deeper meaning in your work. Your role as a mom goes beyond just keeping a house. It's about nurturing and loving your family in a way that honors God. Instead of viewing your daily tasks as just chores, recognize them as opportunities to serve. Your work at home is a reflection of your love and commitment to God. By shifting your focus from the external results to the internal purpose, you can find fulfillment in knowing that you are contributing to your family's well-being and growth. It's easy to feel unappreciated or overlooked, especially when the work seems never ending. However, remembering that your efforts are valued by God can uplift you. Each small act of care and love you provide is a part of a greater purpose and is significant in the eyes of the Lord. Shifting your mindset can help you find joy in your service. This perspective can make all the difference in transforming how you view and experience your daily life. Now, number 4 way to avoid burnout is to pray and trust in God's strength. In the midst of juggling daily responsibilities and feeling overwhelmed, it's easy to forget that the most vital source of support comes from prayers. Philippians chapter 4:6-7 says, be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. And the peace of God, which passes all understanding, shall keep your heart and your minds through Christ Jesus. When you are anxious and burnt out, prayer is the direct line to God that you can use. And of course, it's readily available always. It's a way to lay your worries and your stress at His feet. By bringing your concerns before Him with a thankful heart, you invite His peace into your life. This peace is not based on circumstances, but on God's unchanging love and faithfulness. God promises us to give us strength and wisdom for each day. So when you feel overwhelmed, remember that you don't have to rely on your own strength alone. Trust in God's power to sustain you and guide you through your daily challenges. His strength is made perfect always in your weakness, and He's always there to support us. So the next time that you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're feeling anxious, or you're feeling burnt out, remember you are not alone. I've been there too. I still have days when I question if I'm doing enough, but through these moments of doubt, I've learned that turning to God in prayer is my surest anchor. It's in those moments with Him that I find strength, I find peace, and in reassurance that I'm not alone on this journey, and that I am actually on the right path. Together, me and you, both of us, you and I, we can overcome burnout and anxiety by taking care of ourselves and leaning onto God, and of course allowing Him work in us and through us in taking care of our family. Your efforts matter, and God sees it. He values every moment you spend nurturing and loving your loved ones. Keep praying, keep trusting, and remember that we are all in it together, right? Supported by a loving, faithful God. Thank you very much for sticking around until the end of this episode. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below and the strategies that you have used to overcome burnout as a homemaker. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you have found this helpful. And if you're listening via the podcast, please don't forget to also subscribe and like and drop a comment too. You can also find me on all social media platforms, on X, on TikTok, and on Instagram, all at Aneta-Oladejo. And always keep growing as you keep your home, and ascribe all glory back to God for your testimonies, but little and large. Until the next video, Godspeed. Success, as we know it, is the compounded effect of the everyday steps we take towards a main goal. One of the things that gives peace and mental clarity while homemaking is putting the emptiness season clearly before our eyes. Taking baby steps at the moment while still on the journey of making and keeping the home towards that season is an important aspect of self-care most people overlook. It strengthens the intentionality that goes into making every moment you have right now count. My blog, Aneta, Elisha-Oladejo.com, helps young women navigate their homemaking season in view of the empty nest phase. From ebooks to short courses on time management for homemakers to parenting, finances, and building small businesses while at home, there is plenty to keep you learning and growing while you create the warm, loving space that your family needs to thrive. I am also a local SEO specialist dedicated to helping small businesses like yours stand out in your community. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or a seasoned business owner, you can employ my services to amplify your online presence. With 7 years of experience in search engine optimization, I know the ins and the outs of getting your business noticed online. You can book a free consultation or free Google Business Profile Page audit on Aneta, Elisha-Oladejo.com to get started today.